You want sound. Well, I'm up. Hey, check out my fancy pants. Look at these fancy pants. All right. We're back. We're live, everybody. Sorry for that terrible delay. I was just saying, thank goodness we raised $25 million for charity, because that charity might save all of our lives. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm going to increase my bit rate a little bit here. Kick this up a notch. There we go. So let's go look up some stats. Bitcoin and Ethereum's price is up, which is beautiful. Let's go to ETH USD, BC USD. We're looking at Ethereum at 2163.70 and Bitcoin at 34K. Now, when was the last time we saw this kind of price action? A horizontal bottom with a lower and lower intensity move up. We saw that at 6K back in 2018. And then it did that for a while. And then there was a trap door and it dropped 50% in a day or two. Just saying. I publish these charts. You can go to twitter.com/RichardHeartWin and check them out. We also have a negative 10% discount on the Grayscale Trust shares for their Bitcoin trust. So if you like fake Bitcoin, you can buy it from them at 10% off. Shares in their company, which are, you know, kind of backed by their giant pool of Bitcoin they have. They own 3% of all the Bitcoin. Yeah, so now let's go look up some cooler stuff. So Bitcoin price up, cool. Ethereum price up, cool. That's really handy for the sacrifice phase. People that are sacrificing their Ethereum and Bitcoin at Pulse.info for the PulseChain.com sacrifice phase, which, you know, also the SENS Foundation, SENS.org, medical research charity. You can get points for either sacrificing at Pulse.info or donating to SENS.org. Registered 501c3, you can get your tax deduction perhaps. Depends on where you live. Let's go look up this. PulseChain.com. And it's going to tell us the address, and we can go see what's in there. Where's the address? There it is. Etherscan. I'm just going to paste this address in, and we're going to go see what's going on in the contract. And for good luck, I'm going to go look at chat and make sure my audio is like on. Yep. Cool. So this has got about $600 million in it. It's got 425 million of HEX, which is at 14.3 cents. It's got 119 million of USDC, 27 million of DAI, and 20 million of USDT. So let's add those up. 120, 147, 167. So there's 167 million of stable coins in there and 425 million worth of HEX. Now, as the days are ticking, you're running out of time. So for instance, there's, in this day, 6 hours and 30 minutes left. And then as we approach day 19, which is the last day, those last 3 days don't even participate in the volume ranking. So if you want to get your volume rank higher, where you're reordering everybody else, you need to participate. So the first 5 days were the same. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, those 11 days, those are also in the volume ranking with the first 5. So the last 3 aren't. So right now we're on day 10. And so 10 to 16 is the last amount of time that you have to change where you rank in the overall scheme of things. And the ranked volume bonus that goes up to 2.5x. Let's take a look at chat here. What else good news is going on? The archive node is syncing, and we've got an alternate source that can act as a faster sync, because we have a node that is already synced and we're ingesting that data directly into the network. So we can bootstrap from that it's quicker. So we're just waiting for that to finish. The archive nodes on Geth Ethereum are 8 terabytes. It's kind of large. And then to create your own archive node and ingest that 8 terabytes from the normal network usually takes weeks. So you don't want to delay things weeks. So we found a way to do it quicker. It's being done quicker. Oh, I got new Rolex. We got here a, what is this? A gold day date with a presidential band. Little diamond dial. No, diamond bezel. So I think this is called a RBR when they put round diamonds around the outside. I think when they put baguettes, it's called TBR and like the suffix. And then I've got my old 3-watch winder here. And then we've got these bad boys. Yep. I got another 8-watch winder coming. Takes a long time, so it's gonna be silly. It's gonna be silly, boys. It's funny when you wear gold watches, they like transmit heat really well, or at least it seems like it. So you can feel the heat of your skin through the band like really easy. It stands out more if you're in like, you know, a cold spot. Why don't you donate your watches? I don't know, bro. Why don't you donate all of your personal possessions? Just be ascetic. They have a word for that. No, I'm good. I'm going to do both. I'm going to raise $25 million for charity and live an amazing life and inspire others. Thanks, though. You go ahead and give away all your stuff, bro. Richard, do you think PLS could reach HEX levels of gains in the future? Yes, I do. Where do you guys think I got the numbers to tell you what HEX could be capable of? I just looked at what Bitcoin and Ethereum did. That's it. Ethereum launched at 31 cents, dipped down to 15 cents on Kraken, and then went up to $4,400, which is a 14,000x return. And I'll check that math real quick. I think it's like 14,437. 4,400 over 0.31 is 14,193. So Ethereum's lifetime gains from its launch to its top at 4,400 is 14,200. It took years and years to do that. HEX has already done near 4,000. So it's only like a 3x away, basically. Maybe a 4x. In a year and a half. Now, it's a little bit unfair because we're measuring from the bottom. And so to measure from the bottom on each chart, you would also measure from 15 cents. So then let's divide by 15 cents instead. Give it 4,400 over 0.15. That gives us a 30,000x. So Ethereum's lifetime maximum possible appreciation without taking on leverage is 29,000x so far. Bitcoin's from a penny is 6.5 millionx. And HEX's right now is like 386,000%, which is like 3,860x in a year and a half. Pretty good. Pretty good. So this idea of when you have a new network, how much you could possibly see in appreciation, these numbers are well established and have been well established for years, and to see them happen again and again, it's not hard to know that they're possible. So if you look right now, when you talk about like trying to measure how well Pulse could do versus, let's say, HEX, the HEX chat room has 25,300 people in it. It's been around for years, literally years, like 3 years. The Pulse chat room's been around 3 months, and it's got 33,000 people in it. So it's 25K versus 33K. And I think the reason for that is people just understand what Pulse is more easily. You're like, yeah, it's Ethereum, but it's faster, and it doesn't have miners selling the price down to pollute the environment, to buy electricity and mining hardware. And it doesn't have any inflation, and it burns 25% of the fees, and it's the world's largest airdrop, and it has higher throughput, and it's more affordable, and it's going to beat Ethereum 2.0 to market with more secure software. You're like, yep, all right. And it might lower Ethereum's fees as well, which will help Ethereum. So we're all helping each other. It's great. It's really great. I think they understand that a lot easier than something that is new and innovative like HEX that you actually have to think for a little bit. It's not obvious to people. It's the first of its kind. And by the way, I don't even know. So I just read you the sacrifices on the Ethereum chain. I don't know how much is coming to Dogecoin. I haven't run the scripts to actually monitor the blockchain to see how much came in on Dogecoin or Litecoin or ADA. Like, there's manual work I have to do to massage this data out of their full nodes, and I haven't done it yet. Like, the scripts are sitting there ready for me to toy with, but I just haven't done it yet. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, because I'm curious how many Dogecoin has been sacrificed, how many Litecoin have been sacrificed. I would love to know. I would love to know. Somebody says those bands pinch your arm hairs. They don't pinch my arm hairs, dude. They don't. I mean, there's a lot of space between them. Anyway, look, they've been building these things for, what, 70 years, longer. They've probably got it figured out. But in general, I always hated this band, but it's not that bad. Richard, you know I can spot a fake Rolex when I see it. Okay, and you think I have fake Rolexes? No, sir. These are all factory. People wonder about this one, right? Because I've never seen this bezel before because it's so rare. This is an RBR, so if you Google Daytona RBR, you're gonna find this model. But it's very rare. Like, I when I saw it, I thought it was fake. I was like, what's this? Because I'm used to seeing baguettes or really big, chunky, round ones. I'd never seen 2 rows of little ones, which in my opinion is pretty awesome. You could pick one of these up for like 80 grand if you want this one. I think this one you could get for 70 grand, maybe. It actually saved my life. Fiance aside, I was going through a lot and saw things ending for me, not anymore. Thank you. Congrats. I cannot believe how many people who say that HEX has saved their life. It's a lot. It's a lot of people. I never heard that about Bitcoin. I never heard people saying Bitcoin saved their life. Never. Don't know why. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Somebody says you're a god among men. Oh, thank you. I accept all compliments. I'm going to shift the chat over here so I can like look at the camera instead of having my head all tilted here. No, that ain't working. No, that works. By the way, I think my mic's good. Like it's in the yellows. It's not in the reds. It shouldn't be clipping. It should sound good. Oh, and I changed for fun, I just changed the focal ratio. So I got this f1.2 lens, which is amazing. 50mm f1.2. So it's like super duper blur out the background. But since my background's been so shoved up because it's all watches everywhere, you know, I'm not sure you can tell how much it's blurred out, but you can't, with autofocus, you can't get a shallower depth of field than f1.2. If you try and get like a custom f1.0 lens, there's no autofocus. And then you need autofocus for video. Because if I move this much, I'm going to be out of focus. So you'll have to let me know after the stream whether you like the f1.2 or I should go back to f1.6, which brings the watches more in focus and brings the background more in focus. So the longer I stake, the better. But what's the thing with staking? When does PulseChain come out? go to hex.com and just watch the video up top, and it's very short and it tells you what staking is. Basically, at your bank, you lock up your money, they give you more money. Where does that money they give you come from? It comes from inflation. When you lock up your hex, you get inflation. You mint it yourself. When you're a Bitcoin miner, you mint inflation. I used to mine Bitcoin on my personal computer with no pool, and Bitcoin would just appear in the computer. So, and when does PulseChain come out? So, I mean, testnet would be up right now. Public testnet would be up and live right now. But we have to fight this archive node thing. And we're winning the archive node fight. The transfer is occurring. It's just to write, I mean, it just started right before the stream. So to write 8 terabytes could take 8 to 12 hours, depending on network latency and, you know, unforeseen circumstances. So we'll see. And then, you know, to take that and ingest it into the network, and, you know, I really think that public testnet could be up in a few days. So, and then after that, so public testnet is going to allow people to build cool stuff. I have had a lot of people contacting me telling me the cool stuff they're going to build. Somebody says that they're building a MakerDAO replacement so that we have like DAI on PulseChain. Someone says that I've had like 2 or 3 Launchpads that launch, you know, new coins contact me, like well-regarded ones, like really, really good ones. And I won't name names, but they're in, you know. And then I've had, at least they say there. I've had people that run like their own automated market maker and yield farming thing, and like 1-inch replacement, and kind of like front end for traders. They're coming on board, or at least they say they are. Like, these are things people have told me in phone conversations I've had with them. So I've had these on voice, so maybe that makes them more reputable. What else? Yeah, I mean, I applied for an exchange license, and then I'm waiting to find out whether it gets approved or not, and we'll see. I know that's 58 days maybe from now is the average answer. Range from like 30 to 90. We'll see. Who knows? Any other cool stuff going on? I mean, it's great that we've got this bounce here. I mean, I wouldn't mind going and having a bull trap. Like, yeah, go up Ethereum, go up Bitcoin. I support you. Let's go. So, Richard, is getting harder to describe which coins to sacrifice from the more founded projects. Any tips? I don't know, man. That's on you. You got to decide what you want to sacrifice, man. Price do you see Pulse at in the first 60 days? I have absolutely no idea. I don't make price predictions on projects that I invented. So you're not going to hear price predictions on HEX. You're not going to hear price predictions on Pulse. I can tell you what's possible, but I'm not going to tell you probabilities. I'm not going to tell you timings. You know, I do the responsible founder thing. Many other people in other communities, they talk a lot of very big numbers for fun. I've been hearing about $1 million Bitcoin for a good while now. It's 34K last I looked. I think it was 34.2. Let's go check. 34 even now. 2160 on ETH. Notice that, yeah. Let's check the sacrifice address. 600 million. It's not bad. I'm just reading everybody's chat here. I'm an OG developer and I'm interested in supporting PulseChain. Well, it depends on how you want to support it. If you want to build stuff around it, that's cool. If you want to get hired and you know Go, message me. If you're an OG developer and you know Go, drop me a message. t.me/RichardHeart. If you know Solidity, t.me/RichardHeart. But you got to be good. If you're new, I got nothing for you. Only experienced guys. No new. Will we be able to buy PHEX with USDC? The PHEX USDC pair will exist in PulseChain. Nobody knows what value USDC is going to have yet. Maybe it's $1. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe they use their admin keys and nuke it. Nobody knows, you know? So the market's going to have to figure that out, but that trading pair will be there unless they use their nuke key. Can people hit the like button so more people can see this video? That's a good idea. Hit the like button. Good idea, chat. How long will Pulse... Oh, I lost it. I'm going to scroll back up here. I don't want to lose anything. RichardHeart, thank you. Because of HEX, me and my family are not homeless anymore. Much love. Congratulations. RichardHeart live stream is a great way to end the day. Respect. Do Rolex watches lose value? Yeah, the majority of Rolex watches lose value. Only some of them go up in value. So you have to know exactly which ones those are, or you will lose money. It's not written in stone that everything goes up. Recently, everything's going up because they're printing money out of thin air and just helicopter money, sending everybody checks. So, but even in this environment, there are still watches that go down in value. Like what you did with the camera? Really? Sweet. Thanks. RichardHeart, don't ever stop being a savage. I'm trying to be nicer. I don't even know if I'm actually trying to be nicer. I kind of retract that statement. I'm trying to curse less. It's not exactly being nicer. No, I am trying to be nicer. I'm trying to be friendlier. Yeah, I am. Because with the XRP guy, I did that. I was friendlier, nicer, you know. So I am actually trying to be nicer. I am actually trying to stop cursing. If I don't curse on this stream, it will be a miracle. Thank you for making real crypto, Richard. This is an awesome time. Thank you. Richard, could someone create a 1-to-1 EHEX PHEX bridge independently? That's not how that works. So the way bridges work is that you lock something on one chain and you release something on another chain. And then whoever has that thing that was released can reverse it and then unlock the thing on the other chain again. And so it's kind of like a transformer for electricity. So in your example, you talked about two different assets. And so if there's two different assets, then you can't bridge them because they're two different things. So bridge takes one thing, locks it, releases something that represents it, and then the thing that represented it can be used to unlock it. But in a situation that you're describing, where you have PHEX and EHEX versus each other, that's a market, and markets have to have price discovery. So I guess in theory you could make a 1-to-1 bridge, but if the peg ever fell out of 1-to-1 in the market, your bridge would break because it would stop being 1-to-1, because it would just empty. They would arbitrage you out and it would be emptied. So the only place that you're gonna be able to trade like EHEX versus PHEX are in markets, not bridges. Hope that explains it. So you could have a bridge which encapsulates EHEX, HEX on the Ethereum network, represents it on the Pulse network, and trades the Pulse HEX native to the chain with the wrapped, bridged EHEX, and then value discovery can occur, EHEX versus PHEX, inside the automated market maker or whatever market you want to use in Pulse. I think that you're going to see that. I think that's very likely, but you know, we'll see. Let's get the testnet up. F1.2 is better. F6 oscillates the overall contrast on autofocusing. I see other flaws that I'm not going to point out. I'm not going to point them out. Because if I point them out, then people see them. But if I don't, then people don't. And then their lives are better. So I could get a cinema lens that doesn't autofocus. Oh, I'm not even going to explain it. Thoughts on BitBoy getting scammed? It sucks. You know, it sucks when people borrow money from you and then have no intention of paying it back and it really just robbed you and stole your money. That sucks. It's not fun. How long will the Pulse stakes be? 1 day, I think, is the time on them, but I'm not exactly sure. I need to check the testnet spec. Well, I'll let you know the first time I stake one. Soon. Which state of my wallet will be copied to Pulse? Is there a date? Not yet. There's not a mainnet date yet. Testnet days, I think. Public testnet in days, I think. Richard, HEX and Pulse are awesome. Going to be life-changing for a lot of people. Only been in for a few months, but doing awesome. Thanks. Thanks, man. ETH gas fees are too high. Proceeds to throw 20 bucks in a Pulse wall. Just remember, you're not throwing 20 bucks in a Pulse. You're sacrificing 20 bucks to show you support free speech. Why is the refer button still on HEX? Not sure. It might be like a historical artifact so people can check how the referrals went for them. It's a good question. Depth of field is indeed apparent at watch distance. The sparkles are brighter as a result. Maybe too narrow. Brain thinks the scene as a whole is too blurry. Nah. It's true, the sparkles do work better when you like blur them out a bit. These things would sparkle so much more if the light in here wasn't so flat. So when you go to a jewelry store, they use a bunch of very small, sharp lights. And then it creates wonderful sparkling. But when it's flat, like daylight, and just uniform, you see the diamonds, but you don't see the sparkles. So it's like there are certain rooms that I know I will get a way cooler picture than this one. This room doesn't take good watch pictures. It takes clinically accurate, but not beautiful, sparkly. What polo am I wearing? This is a Gucci shirt thing with some Gucci pants. I don't even really like Gucci that much, but I only want to wear stupid expensive stuff to show off, so I just buy things that cost too much. So I try and spend $1,000 on my shirts, $1,000 on my pants if I can, just to represent. I don't even like the Gucci pattern. Whatever. I hope to upgrade these things to things I do like, but right now I'm willing to take a hit just to represent. Are those luggage tags? I think they are, but I don't really know. I just know they had hearts on them. So I'm like, RichardHeart and Louis Vuitton sells things that have hearts on them, so I figured, all right, might as well do that. They might be luggage tags. But they don't have like a window to see into, right? So you can stick something in there, but I don't know how you'd ever look in it. Yeah. I should go on their website and tell me what these are. Hey Richard, can PHEX get a big payday too? Or are we stuck with the code as is? Stuck with that amazing code? Yeah. You're stuck with the amazing code, bro. Immutability. I love it. Pulse would make a great Thanksgiving gift to crypto. What are your thoughts on Uniswap shutting down certain tokens? No one has worked as hard as Uniswap to make an open source front end that anyone can host. If you want, so for instance, they didn't add HEX to their front end forever because to some degree they suck. But they made an open source project that you could easily just fork and add HEX yourself and host. So if you go to ethhex.com, that's what that is. It's a fork of the Uniswap, V2 front end. So I give them respect and credit for making good open source software. And if it's within their legal risk profile that they just don't want to do certain things, that's fine. That's their prerogative. And it's particularly fine because you can just go host your own. And there are many, 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 many different Uniswap front ends. And the majority of Uniswap trades don't come from that front end. They come from other places, aggregators, contracts, you name it. So it is their right to do what they think is in their interests. And it is open source because they made it so. And then you can go and host your own wherever you want. And lots of people do. They just upload them to IPFS and, they're off to the races. So, people want to, the Uni token was duct taped on. It is just proxy for the VCs apparently controlling everything. They did give 20 million away to something that I don't think deserved it, and most people don't think deserved it. The people that got the 20 million voted for themselves to get the 20 million and were like a large portion of the votes. And you're just like, yeah, this is all a little funky. But all that aside, editing their front end to, for specific legal risk reasons is totally reasonable. If less reasonable is just not adding HEX on there because they don't understand how amazing it is. That's less reasonable. But legal reasons, well, sure, go ahead. That's more reasonable. Richard, any advice on a girlfriend with a lower sex drive than you? No, it's random. Thanks for all the good info. You got options there, man. But I don't want to cover them in this stream. Go read my book, Sci-Vive. There's a romance section. t.me/Sci-Vive. His shirt equals my car. That's funny. Can you give us thoughts on the Pulse token supply? Yeah, it goes up the more USD val is sacrificed. So it's just going to keep going up until the sacrifice phase is over. And then even then it goes up a little bit for the automated market maker fixer. So I think right now we're at 10 trillion or something, I think. From India, HEX did history, and same way do you think PulseChain repeat? Pulse history. I hope one day it will reach the ETH market cap. Well, in my opinion, it is a superior project with superior design parameters and superior game theory. So I would like it to outperform all of the other consensus networks, yeah. And I don't know why it wouldn't. We've already got 33,000 people in the chat room, and they're real users. So, or real people. I don't see a lot of low quality chat in there. I just see high quality chat. Could you go into the possibility that Circle could restrict the use of PUSDC, I think you mean. And yeah, sure, they could just use their admin keys to make it impossible to transfer. So the USDC and USDT contracts have admin keys, and they can just freeze funds at will and make it so that no one can transact. Yeah, they could do that. But they may incur the risk that their users sue them for taking away from them what might have otherwise had value. And they may want to, it's going to be different because if the chain launches and has lots of users and then they want to launch on the chain again, they're going to have to launch a new contract that is redeemable for actual dollars. It's going to be interesting. Like a lot of this is really going to be wild. Like nobody knows how this is going to work out. It's going to be crazy. I want to see people short HEX and get wrecked buying back. Yeah, me too. I tell people not to short. I tell people not to trade. But if you can't follow my good advice and you need to get wrecked here. But that option isn't available yet. I don't know anywhere to short HEX. It really is priority. I saw I was streaming. I was like, damn, okay, time to listen. Thanks, man. Somebody just take 10,000 HEX for 185 days. Glad to hear it, man. Did you get that new Rolex checked out, the one that was too loud? I didn't. I called a watch guy who's like a watch expert, and he said it may need like a service or whatever. Because, I mean, this thing, I think it was made in like 2010. So it's been 11 years, and I don't know the last time it was serviced. So maybe it needs a service, or maybe I just don't need to shake it like that. Right? Like he said, stop shaking it like that. That's what he told me. So, you know, I could either, I mean, getting it rebuilt's maybe $700 or $1,400 or something like that. It's not bad on a $70,000 or $80,000 watch. What's the cards hanging from the chandelier? I covered that one. Someone keeps asking how long Pulse stakes will be. I think that you can change your stake to a different validator once every day, but I'm not sure if you can just pull it without changing it. Like you might be able to just pull it. So we have to see. I gotta see. I gotta read the spec, the doc. Long story short, we rich. Nice. What percent of Pulse supply do you think will be reduced annually? I have no idea. I mean, it's a function of fees. Unless people just start burning it for fun. Did I get a hair transplant? Nope. I just have amazing hair. I never comb it. I never brush it. I never blow dry it. I wake up and it looks like this. That's it. I never put any product in it. The only time, like, if I wake up and it's just weird for some reason, like if I go to sleep with right out of the shower and like my hair was wet, usually that turns out great, but every once in a while it could turn out weird. And then if I have to go on a live stream or something, like, then I'll put some type of wax in there to try and like tame it. But I think I got the best hair in crypto. But all the contracts will be there in Pulse, so one just needs to deploy front ends. Mostly, yeah. I mean, in the case of things that are redeemable for real US dollars, like that it depends on what your value case for your crypto is. So if your value case is it's real DeFi and the code is the code, those things are going to be great. But then if they're like fake DeFi and admin key stuff, then you are at the behest and will of the people who have the keys. And so not your keys, not your coins. The same thing applies to projects. So if you have something with an admin key like Matic, where anyone could just freeze all the money forever at will, it's not good. It's not good. Richard, what's going to return the biggest win in the long run? Pulse or any of the airdrop PRC20s? I think it's going to be hard to beat Pulse's value proposition, probably. Look, man, I don't have a crystal ball. Like, there could be some insane PRC20s that launch and do really well. I don't know. Like, what's going to outperform? Pulse or PHEX? I don't know. You know, I don't think anyone knows. I don't think it's knowable. So it's going to be really interesting to find out. I left Bitcoin a long time ago, so this dev will be building on PulseChain. Thanks, man. Welcome to the party. Love the geometric and hexagon shirt. Are these hexagons? Because that would be handy. I don't know if they are. Well, if they are, that's a good stroke of luck. Will Pulse need oracles? Probably. If you want to do like the stuff everyone else is doing with oracles. Somebody says, I sold all my ADA for HEX. It felt so good. Smash the likes. Can HEX Pulse be sent to and converted to HEX on the ETH network? You would need to exchange it. You could have a bridge that went the other way and went from the more affordable, faster network with higher throughput to the more expensive, slower network, Ethereum. You could bridge that way too. But the question would be, why? I haven't really seen that in other similar bridged networks where it usually goes to the faster, cheaper network and not the other way. But sure, you could do it. That Gucci shirt is hard. Nice. Do Pulse tokens deflate forever? Yes. No inflation. Would you be okay if us Hexagons pulled together to put Hex and Pulse on a NASCAR? Would be cool in front of millions of people. It's a free country, man. As long as it's fair use, go have fun. Somebody says, I sacrificed all my trying to get me to curse. I'm not going to do it. Coins that aren't good. So just holding on to my beloved Hex. Nice, man. Which altcoins do you see as a good investment opportunity? What are my thoughts on ADA? If you want to sacrifice your ADA, go install MetaMask and go to Pulse.info. And you can prove that you support free speech. You could also donate it to the Sens Foundation, sens.org. You'll get 3/4 of the points, but you may get a tax write-off and you may cure some diseases. I have enough really good things going on that I don't need to worry about other coins. I like the coins that I founded a lot. I think they're really great. Let me put it this way. We're going to have smart contracts before ADA does. So. and the code has already been through billions of dollars of commerce to make sure that it's good code. So. Why did you sacrifice Alex Saunders under the bus? Yeah, his career got canceled. So he was trying to scam me. And then I just said, hey, this guy tried to scam me. And then it turned out he was doing that with everybody. And so I was like, it was the Me Too moment where like I opened the floodgates and then everyone else was like, he tried to scam me too. And he jacked, I mean, people are estimating it in tens of millions of dollars, like maybe 8 to 12 million is the last estimates I've heard for how much money he scammed people out of, which is just crazy, like crazy. It was funny, but before he came on my stream, he tweeted, going into the lion's den. I had to respond to that tweet. Goes into lion's den, dies. Oh man, absolutely crazy. Only in crypto. Only in crypto. Love your work, mate. Relatively new to crypto. Your information is second to none. Sacrificed into Pulse. Thank you from Tasmania. Get down here. Welcome aboard. Alex Saunders is also from Tasmania. So maybe that bad news brought some good news to people. Hey, Richard, have you heard about Alex Saunders? He's completely wrecked. That interview destroyed him. Apparently he owes millions. My mate actually bought coins he recommended and now is stuffed. That sucks. Somebody says, is a sacrifice so there's liquidity in the chain? In this thing that we're doing, we don't have expectation of profit from the work of others. What you just said sounds like an expectation. Don't have this. Can someone copy HEX and add improvements to make it better? No, because it is not licensed for copying. When you write a book, it's your book. when you write code, it's your code. And unless you specifically go out of your way to allow people through a license to use it, it's not legal for anyone to do it. So HEX is all rights reserved. You can't copy it. It's not legal. Love HEX necklace, Rich. You're the best. Thanks to Create HEX. My pleasure. You deserve what you have, Richard. Thanks, man. Richard, what are your thoughts on the token supply? When you have coins that just get burnt and there's never any inflation, it's probably handy to start off with a bunch of them so you don't have to one day like have a fork and change the units and all kinds of stuff. So people also like affordable coins. It's even in Ethereum, you have to price things in decimals. Now you want to pay a bill in Ethereum? Yeah, it's going to be 0.06 Ethereum. Decimals are not fun for paying for stuff. So having a lot of units is going to allow us to have a more reasonable transaction network. Dead cat bounce for BTC? Probably, but I know it looks like the old 6K action where flat bottom, doop, doop, doop into trapdoor. It's what it looks like. Let me tell you, I would love it if Bitcoin would just go bull trap everybody and do a nice retrace of the dump and go hit 50K and get people long again. That would be great, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to do the dipper doodle, smaller and smaller low volatility dead cat into trapdoor is what it looks like. And why do you get the trapdoor? Because someone's trying to hold that horizontal bottom is what it looks like. And that's what they did before in 2018. Thoughts on the sacrifice wallet getting close to flipping the Godwell? I actually have not been watching the rankings. Like, I don't know who the top sacrificer is, and I don't know if there's like fighting going on. I probably should learn that because it would be dramatic and cool. And I bet there is fighting going on amongst the whales. I think people are watching the whale fight on Pulse. God, what is it? Hey guys in chat, can you tell me the Pulse website where everyone's watching the sacrifice fight? I think it's... I don't want to quote the wrong URL, man. So when chat tells it to me, then I'll know. I'm not going to say a URL to you guys, like, point it out, and then I'll recognize it. I'm trying to get a millionaire family member to listen to me about Hex Pulse, but it's very difficult to give good suggestions for financial stuff to people who've made more money than me. Any ideas? Well, I've made more money than him, so I don't know. Send him my videos. Like, I don't know. Maybe he likes the cut of my jib. Should I dump my Bitcoin now and buy Pulse? You can't buy Pulse yet. If you do, it's fake. So you have to wait for it to exist. You can, however, sacrifice at Pulse.info and maybe get some points and maybe get some free coins for free Pulse. Or you can donate to charity at sens.org and get points, which are planned to receive Pulse in a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 point per Pulse. So go to pulsechain.com, pulse.info, and yes, millions and millions of dollars of Bitcoin has been sacrificed to support free speech and get some points for some free stuff, because free speech is cool. And this free stuff is Pulse. Do you have any other big plans for helping the world? Yeah, I want to make a fund that people can put normal money into that invests in technology that might save their life. So you have a green fund that you're supposed to get rich on but might help the environment, and then you have like a save your butt fund that you might get rich on and you might save your life. So we don't have that right now, and we need that. People need the option to get rich in a biotech fund that might save their life. It combines your self-interest with more self-interest. Self-interest squared. You want riches and health? Get them both. I think it's great. Great idea. Got to publish my book on, paper. t.me/sci-fi. I've got a couple books. Need to promote those, publish them. I don't talk about them much. They're not on the websites. They're not even in my my profile on Twitter, like they're basically just, you know, people, they're changing people's lives and people are reading them a little bit, but unless you heard about it on like one of these live streams, you probably didn't know they existed. So that's important, because when you influence people early, you set their bias, and when younger people have these good ideas available to them early, 20 years later, when they're where I'm at, they can pick up and make the world a better place. So it's important. So the Save Your Butt Fund, the books, and then you probably do accelerators in the space. And that, you know, so those are some of my world-changing ideas. Coinbase has been doing bad since IPO launch. They need to adopt HEX and see how much money floods the gates. Somebody says total sacrifice so far 643 million. Nice. BTC still going to 10K. If it does the normal 85% dip, it does every 4 years, yes. And why wouldn't it? Is this time different? Everyone thinks that. Usually not. Best stablecoin? I think USDC has the best counterparty risk because at least they're US based. And there's really good liquidity. Yeah. And then there's so much USDC used as collateral to back DAI that if USDC ever had a problem, I think DAI has a problem too. I think it's like 30 or 40% USDC backed. So you've got dollars backing a stable, and that stable is backing another stable, and you're like, I love the shirt, thanks. Thoughts on world recession, depression happening? Man, I'm in crypto, so it don't, we're in an inflationary environment, crypto goes up. Oh, the environment's bad? Well, crypto's still going to go up. You do this huge dip every 4 years, and then you're just usually going up. Your average returns in Bitcoin, for instance, are 200% a year on average. It's never been down more than 3.5 years. So if you can hold for 3.5 years, you never have lost money holding Bitcoin. Not yet. What wallet will work best, do you recommend with Pulse? Currently MetaMask. Man, this is growing. Can't keep up with the comments these days. Yeah, I feel you. Where's the PulseChain chat room? t.me/PulseChain.com. Richard just left a manifestation seminar that talks about the power of belief and more self-control over the subconscious mind. Do you believe that helped with your success in any way? The power of belief and incantation and manifestation, all that stuff, it works if it affects your behavior, and then your behavior gets the results. So it's your behavior that's getting the results. So if you're always focused on winning and doing things that make you win, then you're going to win. And you can get that focus accidentally. You can get that focus by being competitive. You can get that focus from a mindfulness seminar, I guess. The important part is to remember is that you're not actually manifesting anything. You're just changing what you think about. And if the way that you've changed the way you think changes the way you behave for better performance, then you're going to do better. So if you focus on what you want, you're more likely to get it than if you focus on what you don't want. If you focus on cake and how you shouldn't eat it, you're more likely to eat cake. If you focus on broccoli and how it tastes good, you're more likely to eat broccoli. And so focusing on broccoli beats focusing on not cake is one example of how positive thinking helps. Pulse should be called RichardHeart chain, and you must sacrifice to show you have heart, otherwise you're a non-believer. What? That is a terrible idea. What is a HEX market cap currently? I don't know. Billions? Decabillions? I mean, I think the highest it was over 100 billion, and we're maybe, I don't know, 20-25% off all-time high, maybe. So like maybe we're at 70 billion. I could go look. Let's go look. It's 82 billion. There you go. UT on Pulse, asked and answered. Testnet next week, I hope. If you ask me like weird shilling your alt questions, you just get hidden on the channel, guys. I notice I'm not answering your weird, hey, I bought this bag, what do you think of my bag questions? Did I accidentally? No. How do we buy Pulse after sacrifice? I mean, you could just use those bridges. So like there will be a bridge from Ethereum to the Pulse network, and then value can get in and out of the Pulse network through that until normal exchanges pick it up. And then, you know, it's the same as Ethereum when that happens. Or more accurately, like exchanges can list whatever they want. So if they want to list the awesome things on Pulse, then they can. They just need to wait for them to exist. Can someone explain the market cap of PulseChain? Pulse is going to launch at 0 value. It's important. Pulse launching at 0 value allows everyone to lock in a capital gains rate by starting at 0, and then they go up, and it's like Satoshi. Satoshi founded a coin, started at 0, and he doesn't owe any tax until he sells. Now, not an accountant, not a lawyer. This isn't professional advice, this isn't financial advice. Go do your own research and all that. But basically, if you have something that's worth nothing and it goes up in value, you're not going to be taxed on that until you sell. There are weird exceptions. Like, there's some very weird exceptions. But in general, that's how it works. So you want it to launch at 0, and then after it's launched at 0 and everyone knows it was 0, you know, maybe it's at 0 for a day, cool. Then let there be value. Let 1,000, what is that? 1,000 flowers bloom. I think that's the phrase. Please explain the HEX tokenomics. Yes, go to hex.com and watch the video at the top. It's very short and explains it to you. How are talks going with the Harvard fellows? Really cool. They rotated to do something easier that's better. So it's gonna be great. I don't want to like out what they're doing, so you have to wait for it to actually be out, but it's really cool. What can I do if I have ETH on Robinhood and I want to sacrifice it? I don't think you can transfer crypto out of Robinhood, so I think you need to like go to fiat. I think. I'm not a Robinhood user, but that is my best understanding of their current state. You're gonna run HEX staking on Pulse just like Ethereum. It's the same exact code, so it's the same code, 2 different networks, same code. So your stakes come over, your liquid comes over, and then the things that you can do on this chain are the same things you could have done on Ethereum. It's just cheaper and higher throughput. And better for the environment and a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to have fun rolling together my EHEX stakes into PHEX duplicates. Sounds cool. Congrats on your sends work, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, you know, anytime someone tries to talk trash, I'm just going to pull that out. Oh, you're talking trash? I raised $25 million to try and save your life. So why you talk trash? I'm trying to save your life. Let me know when you raise millions of dollars to save my life, and I'll thank you like you should be thanking me. So you're probably going to see that get pulled out every once in a while. Richard is a whistleblower. Oh my Lord. Hey, I've been called worse kinds of blower, so. Do you still get the 0.75 if you donate a second time to the Sens Foundation after the first 5 days? Yeah, you always get reduced by 25%. I mean, there's a chance you're getting a tax write-off, man. So, Richard, what happens when the supply of Pulse goes to 0 from the token burning? I don't think that's going to happen. Ever. And if it ever did, you just change the units. You're just like, you just pro rata issue new units to everybody, and then everyone's, you know, can transact again. But that's never going to happen, man. Do you think it would be possible to run collateralized loans through hex stakes on a smart contract? Yes, you could, but I don't want you to, because when the price moves around, people are going to get liquidated, and liquidated means sell, and sell means bad for price. So if you want to take on leverage and you want to use things for collateral, I would love it if you didn't use your hex to do that, and you go encumbered your other assets that weren't hex, and then when you get liquidated, you can go sell those other assets. So I'm not a fan of collateralized lending on things I build. That's different. Like if someone wants to short and get liquidated, go get liquidated. That's good for price. It's good for the hex price. But, you know, it's because their collateral, it's best if their collateral is something that isn't hex. Because whenever you get liquidated, you got to sell your collateral. Saunders wrecked. Hey Richard, how important is store value? It's everything. It's absolutely vital. And how good is hex at that? Oh, it's up 386,000% in a year and a half before interest, and interest has been up to 2x or more depending on how long you staked. So you'd be up 8,000x in a year and a half. Best stablecoin? I think USDC. How are new PLS minted? They're not. They just go down in supply. There's no inflation. They just get burnt. What are your thoughts on Uniswap drama? Rewind. I answered it already. Hey Richard, love your videos. What's your take on the intentions of the vaccine? I ain't talking about that. And if you do talk about that, you risk your channel getting messed up. So we live in a censored world on censored platforms, and if you don't censor yourself, you're in trouble. It is unfortunate, but it is where we're at currently. So I wanted to end my stake to change the day to a longer period. What? So if I wanted to end my stake to change the day to a longer period, do I get charged another gas fee for doing so? Yes. Anything you do on Ethereum, you're getting charged a gas fee. You go to cancel a transaction, that costs a gas fee. To cancel a transaction costs gas. Other than your own books, what books do you recommend? How to Win Friends and Influence People, Tony Robbins, Awaken a Giant Within, good stuff. Richest Man in Babylon. I mean, just your greatest self-help hits, you know? They're all good. Not all of them, but like mostly they're good. I think the Art of Worldly Wisdom is also good by Balthazar Gratian. How do I convince my 70-year-old dad who owns BTC and ETH to sacrifice for PulseChain? I don't know, man. Good luck. You are ducking awesome, man. I really look up to you. I've never been so happy and stress-free since I started following you. Now I'm thinking on how to win the game of life. Have a blessed day. Thank you, man. Check out my book, t.me/sci-vibe. It's free. Download it. Might make your life even better. Do you invest in any other cryptos? Do I focus on Hex and Pulse? I think you'll see the majority of my price commentary is Ethereum and Bitcoin. And the minority of my price commentary is Pulse or Hex. Because I don't like talking about their prices, because I don't want anyone to have expectation of profit from the work of others. But Ethereum and Bitcoin, I don't mind talking about their prices. I didn't found those projects. Has Alex tweeted or made a video since his castration? He did a video with Vitalik. And I guess Vitalik's not watching what's going on in the world. And he retweeted one thing. But other than that, it's been radio silence. So he's basically like, seems like he's on the run. If you had a bunch of coins you were offloading and going to get into HEX and stake or Pulse right now, which direction would you go? I mean, I tell people just 1/3 HEX, 2/3 Pulse sacrifice, but I'm pulling that out of my butt. No one really knows what optimal play looks like because no one can predict the future in this case. And my logic on just how I kind of arrived at that number is you're going to get your stakes doubled. You're going to get your liquid HEX doubled. They're on 2 different networks. And there's already 33,000 people in the Pulse chat, and there's only 25,000 in the HEX chat, even though the HEX chat is 10 times older. So from that perspective, it just kind of feels right to me, but nobody knows, and I pulled the number out of my butt, so good luck, man. Somebody says if you have millions, you'll never be poor. That's not true. Millionaires go broke all the time. Many millionaires go broke more than once. So that is definitely not true. What's the minimum to get into the PulseChain project? You can sacrifice almost nothing and get points, which will receive free stuff. Like, so there's not a minimum. Sound, go bye-bye. No sound. Am I doing this wrong? No sound. All right, there we go. I've been following you since 2017. You are the true anti-hero of crypto, and you, by far, keep the crypto space honest. Keep crushing it. Thanks, man. Why does my Bitcoin and ADA sacrifice not show on the sacrifice leaderboard? Because it only tracks Ethereum, and it doesn't track it perfectly. It just kind of makes an okay effort. It's a community-built thing. I mean, I don't even know how much ADA has been sacrificed because I need to go in there and fight the node to get it to import addresses and things, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So not only do you not see it, but I also don't see it. We will all see it at the end when we go and fight those battles. Maybe earlier, but if not, we'll just know when we know. It's public, it's on the blockchain, it's obvious. We just need to do the math to make it look up those keys, basically. Anyone can do this. So you can look up the XPub address, and then using that XPub, I published all the XPubs, I believe, already on Twitter. And you can use that XPub to generate all the derivative keys, and then you can go on the blockchain and do an intersect query and see where all those keys have been sent coins. And that's what it looks like. And so, you know, ingesting that database of the blockchain state can be done different ways. You can either import the address list into a wallet, or you could subscribe to an API from a service provider and download the chain state and then query against it. Like there's ways to do it, but doing those things now is not the right move when you could be doing other things. Like adding a new chain would be more important. Allowing other things like, you know, tokens or coins or whatever, that would be more important. Doing videos like this would be more important. Like almost everything is more important, I think, than just measuring what happened on those chains, which on chains, I don't think that the amounts that are coming in from these other chains are going to come close to what has come in on Ethereum and Bitcoin. I think it's going to be less. I might be wrong, right? Maybe some Doge massive whale like went all in or something. Who knows? But I think that's probably less likely, because, you know, there are chains that are easy to track, like the EVM ones. So like we can see TRX, BSC, Binance Chain, XLM, XRP extremely easily. Those are all super easy. And, you know, you're looking at 500,000 here, 500,000 there. You know, I think Binance is like maybe 2 million. And so, you know, none of those are coming close to the 160 million just in stables on Ethereum. You know, 400 million in HEX, you know, 12 million, 10 to 12 million in on the Bitcoin side. So I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that there's actually massive inputs on these other chains, which I haven't beat up the blockchain yet to see. But probabilistically, I think that most of the big action is going to be on the ETH and BTC pairs. That's my guess. How's a price discovery for PHEX going to happen? Well, since everything's launching at 0, you have to wait until someone makes a market and decides what they will trade for, and then price discovery will happen. So you have to wait for them to exist first. Been watching your vids since late 2017. Great job, bud. Thanks, man. Richard, can you please enable the clipping feature on YouTube? Will enable us to clip your savage moments more easily. What? I didn't know that was a thing. What? I never heard of that, man. I know that's a thing in Twitch, but I don't think that's a thing in YouTube, man. I'll Google it. Will PLS holders be able to buy PHEX right away on the launch of the network after AMM does this thing? I think so, yeah. I mean, you're just trading one valueless token for another valueless token, right? So, yep. So I think you can trade those things around. I think you can. But then at some point, I think there will be value discovery. After everyone's locked in, there's 0 value. Can you explain how altcoins move at exactly the same time? Sorry if you already covered it. Yeah, it's called Hart's Law. I coined it. The prices of assets that trade versus each other move with each other because they're interchangeable and they're bonded by their liquidity. And so if you can exchange a Bitcoin for an Ethereum at a certain rate and Ethereum goes up in value, then Bitcoin has also gone up in value because they're interchangeable with each other. And if you're holding Ethereum and it's interchangeable with Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes up in value, then Ethereum also goes up in value because they're interchangeable with each other. And so those relationships can break when there's not enough liquidity to bond them compared to what the market force wants to do. And so the market can execute its will to shift the pairing, to shift the rate that the two things exchange at. But that takes active effort from the market. And so, like, for instance, if a big bid comes in and moves the price up, it eats all the sell orders. And then if the price goes back down, like by market orders, there's just a huge gap. And people have to manually refill in the sell orders that were washed away by the big wick. And that effort of needing to change the order book, it means that your default position is kind of the two things that are tied together tend to be tied together. They're tied together by their liquidity, and so their prices move together. So if for instance, if each pair of my underwear was worth $1 million, and then some guy came along and it was like, I think Richard's underwear are worth $1.1 million now. Am I making a bad analogy here? This is a terrible analogy. I'm going to give up on this one. So basically, it's just that the prices of things that trade versus each other mean that they both tend to go in the same direction because they're bonded by their liquidity, and because you're introducing a third thing. So when you talk about like the Bitcoin Ethereum pair, both of those really have a US dollar value as well. And so if the US dollar value of one goes up, then the value of both has gone up. Unless someone executes that ARB so much that it reduces the liquidity, then it doesn't work anymore. I explained it beautifully on Twitter. This explanation seems clunky. But basically, it matters what your primary trading pair is. Because if your primary trading pair is not good, then your price performance is not good. So you'd hate to have a primary trading pair that was crypto if crypto was in a bear market, and it would be okay to have a primary trading pair that was crypto in a bull run. But then even in that case, I really think that having a stable pair, I still think it works better even in a bull run. And we kind of have evidence that it works just fine, because maybe it even works better than just fine, because that is the state that HEX has. Like HEX has 85% of its liquidity tied to the dollar, and then, you know, only 15% in crypto, I think. Let me check something real quick. Let me check something, you beautiful people, you. All right. What happens if I sacrificed ADA from Coinbase? I think you're fine, because it issues you a unique address. Or if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure it issues you a unique address. So if it uses a memo, you can send from exchange if you include the memo. If it uses unique addresses, you can send from exchange. But if it's an EVM chain, like TRX, ETH, AVAX, Matic, BSC, you need to send from your own wallet, or you are not going to get credit, because you don't have the keys to the address that's going to get credit, the address that's sent. So on the memo ones, you're fine. On the creates a unique address for you, you're fine. But on the EVM ones, you need to send from your own wallet. RichardHeart, you're winning the race. Thanks, man. Somebody said the website. I'm 30 minutes behind. Pulselead.xyz is like the community-made tracking website. Sorry for being 30 minutes behind, guys. Lol. Any advice for the Hexicans who just became newly minted millionaires through HEX? Be careful what you spend on, because you can regret it when the price keeps going up. So just be careful. How do we check our standings in the sacrifice phase? It's very hard to do. If you're on the ETH chain, you can see where you stand within the ETH chain very easily. Just go on Etherscan. Like, pull the address off of PulseChain.com, copy paste it into Etherscan.io, and, you know, or this pulselead.xyz. Send ETH from MetaMask to the copied address. As long as you have the keys to your MetaMask, it seems okay. As long as we're talking about pulsechain.com. Or actually, in this case, you could be, I mean, Pulse.info is even, it's the same address, so you can see it on Pulse.info or pulsechain.com. Is store value the best use case for crypto? Currently, yes. I mean, speculation is pretty popular as well. What's my opinion on psychedelics and stuff? I mentioned it in SciVive. I mean, I've covered this before, man. Search my timestamps for some of my other videos. Go into SciVive and ask. I mean, like, I'm not into it. Too much risk, not enough reward. You think that you experienced something amazing, but you didn't. It just changed what you think. It's like speed reading. You can take a course that teaches you how to speed read, and then it makes you read worse, but you think you're a better reader. So it changes how you think about your reading skill, but your actual reading skill gets worse. Psychedelics are similar. You think you had a life-changing, amazing experience and learned some true depth secret of the world that no one else knows about. But in reality, you just think that. You're not more effective. You're not more productive. You don't get more done. Otherwise, hippies would be the most productive people in the world. They alter their consciousness, and therefore they would be the most powerful, productive people in the world. But they're not. So you don't have some secret truth of the universe. You just think you do. If you want to sacrifice your BTC, just install MetaMask and go to go to Pulse.info, and you can generate a BTC address. Or you can, donate your money to SENS.org. Just email them first before you do that, or you won't get points. What do you do in your time away from crypto, girls? Uniswap I covered already. Scroll back. It'll be there. Are stem cells a point of interest for the SENS Research Foundation? Yeah, they are. But they're so well covered by lots of other people that they don't overly focus on those. Do you think CoinMarketCap will show Pulse on the main page, or will they keep gatekeeping it? Don't know. Let's wait till it exists. I think a lot of the gatekeeping that we saw in HEX is starting to go away. Like, people are starting to say nice things about it now, starting to respect it as they should. And then, a lot of people that didn't like Pulse and still don't like Pulse, a lot of people that didn't like HEX and still don't like HEX, they do like Pulse. And so I think it's very likely we won't get gatekept as much with Pulse, particularly since it's the world's largest airdrop that's ever happened. I mean, perhaps millions of people will be receiving free coins. It's pretty cool. You talk about 1inch quite often. Is there benefit to going to 1inch, or is MetaMask swapping better? MetaMask swap charges you an extra 0.85%. So if you want to give away an extra 0.85%, use the swap that's built into MetaMask. If you don't want to give away an extra 0.85%, just go to 1inch.io. Watches spinning fast, are they? They stopped. Yeah, I know you guys like it when they spin, so we'll keep them wound. I wish there was a way to automate this process, because clicking on buttons, getting tired of it. This one's too hard to get into. I'm not even going to turn that one. Just going to let it sit. What do you think that happened to the coins that use oracles? Won't those oracles not be hooked up? Great question, man. It looks like when the testnet launches, that those guys that want their coins to be even more valuable should run the things that need to make that happen. So I don't mess with admin key coins and things like that. A lot of people do. So you need an oracle to make your thing work. I guess for the record, stable coins are admin key coins. So it's just kind of different class of stuff. They kind of need to have an admin key if they have a bank account behind it all. But a lot of these other projects, they don't need the oracles they have. It's different. Uniswap is an oracle. So you should be using Uniswap as an oracle instead of some guy's server that just tells you what the price is, Anyway, the summary of your question is, yes, there are projects that, if they want to work well on the Pulse network, they need to do a couple things. I don't think that those things are very hard to do, but been enjoying your self-help videos and book. Great work. I wondered what you think of Robert Greene's books. His books aren't that good. I mean, I only read the 48 Laws of Power, but it wasn't that good. You'd be better off reading Balthasar Gracian's Art of Worldly Wisdom. It's better. Or my book's better too. I'll give you an example, right? One of his chapter titles was Baffle Them with Bull, and I won't say the other word because I'm not cursing this stream, which is nearly a miracle, I have to tell you. And then in that chapter he says, you know, here's P.T. Barnum, and then he would fool people, and then here's this other guy that sold the Eiffel Tower a few times, and he would fool people. And then you're like, all he did was, he wanted to tell an interesting story, like, oh, look, this happened and that happened. And then, okay, how can you get to tell that story? Oh, just take some trait around the story and say, that's what you should do. Because you could do that a bunch of different ways, right? Like, that title of that chapter could have been, go into business for yourself, or sell things, or make grand statements, or it could have been anything. And so and then I particularly don't like that title because should you be telling people to basically lie, particularly when the truth is so much more profitable? It's dumb. So I don't like the title of the chapter. I don't like advertising harmful strategies that are harmful not only to the people that they're being used on, but to the person that's doing them. And so you see that just make strong statement and then tell lightly related story pattern in his book. And it just kind of sucks. Like it's not good. It doesn't make you stronger. It makes you weaker, which is not what you want out of a book titled The 48 Laws of Power. And that's another thing. He just picked that number out of his butt. Like people pick specific numbers because they think that it's a well-searched list and there's only these ones and these are the good ones. But in this case, there wasn't some well-searched list. There's actually millions of laws of power. And then, you know, it's just all of the same kind of clickbaity kind of crap. So I don't like his book. I think it is trash. We don't have a snapshot date till like public testnet's been up a while and we like it. Once we like it and we have minimum viable like AMM front end, right? So like Uniswap front end. So if you have a consensus network, a Uniswap front end, and a bridge, that's minimum viable. And then you can launch after that. If you want to attract more projects to get built out, you need to give them a little bit of time to do so. But I mean, minimum viable is functioning consensus network on testnet. Then you can set your launch date as long as you've got a Uniswap front end and a bridge that works to the Ethereum network, because then you can get, you know, fiat value in and out of the network until it gets other channels in, right, which would be listings. And then I mean, there's nice to haves, but you don't need the nice to haves. That's minimum viable. You can get the nice to haves later. It's fine with that. Ah, yes. Profit from the work of others. This is an armchair lawyer here, so get ready for the lawyer crap. Profit from the work of others is disingenuous. Hex and Pulse only have value if people insert their capital, usually gained through their work, into the system. Address, please. Okay. So, armchair lawyer guy, I'm going to explain this to you. And you know what? I'm going to be nice, because I'm being nice. Nice, Richard. When you buy a limited edition Ferrari, do they issue a contract that says that that's the limit and they won't make any more? No, they don't. As a matter of fact, sometimes they do make more than they said they would. And what does that do to the value of your limited edition Ferrari? It goes down in value. So would you like to see Ferrari regulated as an investment opportunity, and that before you buy a Ferrari, you have to be issued a private placement agreement and maybe have your accredited investor status checked because you're purchasing a security in the form of a Ferrari because you want it to hold its value? I don't think that makes the world a better place. I don't think that everything that has ever been created having value should be turned into a security that requires disclosures, middlemen, that you be an accredited investor. These, like, that doesn't make the world better. And furthermore, since we're being educative and giving you analogies on how your idea is quite silly. Where else do people profit from the work of others? Oh, your job. Yeah, when you go to work and the company pays you, the company is only able to pay you because everyone else at that company is doing their job. Well, that sounds like profit from the work of others, doesn't it? And when you wake up in the morning as a child and your mom makes you breakfast, that kind of sounds like profit from the work of others to me. So maybe your mom's pancake should be like registered as a security. So the issue, the magic, the point, nice, Richard, is that profit is okay. Building things that are valuable is okay. Building things that are designed to accrue value is okay. Like Rolexes and Ferraris and cryptocurrencies. You're allowed to build these things. Art, music, they're allowed to become more valuable, and they're not securities, okay? Now, when is this different? When is it different? Here's when it's different. When you buy a Ferrari and it goes up in value, does Ferrari pay you money? No, Ferrari doesn't pay you money. So where does the money come from? The money comes from somewhere else. Usually the free market. Now, is the free market regulated? Yes, it is. There's truth in advertising laws. There's lemon laws. There's all types of laws regarding car transactions. And are any of them securities laws? No, they're not. So I don't want to turn family breakfasts into securities. And I don't want to turn Ferraris into securities. And I don't want to turn Rolexes into securities. And I don't want to turn paintings into securities. But for some reason on the internet, in the cryptocurrency world, armchair economists want to turn things into securities because they need more government in their life. Because the government is doing such a wonderful job, they need more of it in their life. Now, I will say I respect what the SEC does trying to save people from losing their money. I respect disclosures. I respect, people knowing what they're getting into. And I'll tell you what, if you go on the websites, hex.com or pulsechain.com, and you click the disclaimer, it says you're basically lucky any of this stuff works at all. Software's hard. Blockchain software's harder. You should have a computer expert read this stuff. No one really knows how these things all work at every layer of abstraction. If you send your money to the wrong address, you lose it forever. Our disclaimer is hardcore. Hey, prices drop 95%. Prices go to zero sometimes. It's all in the disclaimer there. And not only is it in the disclaimer, on hex.com, it used to be at the very front page. Now it's like one page in the how it works section. And it says, look, the prices dropped 70% 5 or 6 times. Amazon dropped 95% once. Bitcoin's dropped 85% 4 times. Flash crash to zero, depending where you go. I go above and beyond the Call of Duty to give disclaimers and warnings and show the volatility. I still show the potential because that's reality. And I show you the risks and the warnings and the volatility. I do it right. A lot of other people don't do it right. When you go on bitcoin.org, do you see a warning about price volatility? No, you do not. When you go on ethereum.org, do you see a warning about price volatility? No, you do not. But you do on hex.com. And you do on our disclaimers. So I do it better without being forced to by government. I wish other people were as honest as I. Now, what is the point that I'm teaching you? What I'm teaching you is using your logic, everything that ever had value or anyone working with anything that ever had value would have to be registered by the SEC. That would mean your job. That would mean your breakfast with your parents. It would mean it just is nonsensical. What matters is who has the Howey test is in the United States how it's decided primarily. And it states that if you give money to a common pool with the expectation of profit solely from the work of others, you may have a security. And then later on, the SEC added some more stuff. And you have to understand a lot of this isn't case law. It's just a regulatory body saying it. But just because a regulatory body says it, it doesn't mean new law has been written. And so there's a difference between the precedent that is set in a civil system like the United States legal system versus just regulators saying different things, and then when they change every few years, saying different things still. Is there critical entrepreneurial or managerial effort? Is there someone that hands out the money? If there's not someone that hands out the money, and you're getting the money from someone else, like a Ferrari, it sounds like there's not critical managerial effort. And so, and even that, it's like they just kind of added that on. That's not in Howie. Like I don't believe that language is there. So, in summary, no, collectible coins and collectible baseball cards and Ferraris and breakfasts and the people that you work next to, while we do profit from the work of others, they are not securities. So I hope that clears that up for you. And a disclaimer, since I love my disclaimers, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a professional of any kind. I was a licensed mortgage broker for a while, so I guess I was a professional to some degree. Yeah, that's it. Do your own research. But these armchair lawyer guys, they're just smart enough to be dangerous. They don't know what they're talking about. Does every ERC20 address receive the airdrop? 99.9% probably. If I see some legit straight up scam stuff, like maybe they don't. Like, do the plus token guys get airdropped? Maybe not, right? The clipping tab should come up on the rewatch. I'll check it, man. I will check it. Can you please debate and tear into Max Kaiser? I don't think he has the courage, but if he does, sure, I'd love to talk to him. Because I'm friendly. Friendly Richard. Get brighter, screen. Go. Brighter. Thank you. How far behind am I? 20 minutes. Clips only available to a small number of YouTubers. Oh, alright. Thanks, man. Why is delayed gratification important in HEX and Pulse and in society? Why is this conversation important? And how can people convert from instant to delayed gratification mode? Tips. I mean, focus on the future that you want. Imagine that you did the steps necessary to make it happen. It's called future pacing. Think about the path that'll get you there and enjoy doing the path. So you're changing the location of your focus a little bit in the future, and then it's like a staircase. You oscillate from focus on the future to doing what you need to now. Focus on the future, do what you need to now. Notice you don't spend much time thinking about the past, because the past is over. There's more than enough to be learned from the future. Given Hart's law, will the trading pair of Pulse be USD or ETH? That is a great question. Yep. I don't know. I don't know, man. Great question. Maybe during testnet, everybody can put some thought into that. Any idea what ERC20 projects will be active on PLS? I mean, the ones that have front ends built out for them, I guess, or don't need front ends. So, like, maybe we forked one of these Ethereum Classic block explorers, which I haven't like fully gone through. It's there for me to test, but I haven't had time to test it yet. It's already like working on our testnet, private testnet, and so if that has like a write contract function built into it. And I even think the code for Etherscan's write contract function feature is open source, I think. And so that means that even if people don't build front ends for some of these contracts, you'll still be able to use them by just doing what the front end would have done directly in the like write contract function. So it will be very interesting to see, and I think we'll get a lot more data once the public testnet's out, you know, which communities want to make it work, you know, because in the communities that already have good open source front ends, which probably I don't know how many there are of them, like Uniswap does have a good open source front end. I think that those are more likely to take off quicker than the ones that like need people to do more work. Use the Unisoc analogy. Yeah, I should have used that earlier when describing liquidity for sure. Your underwear isn't worth $1 million. Well, man, not yet, but one day, I don't know. They're worth $1 million to me. I'm just joining the stream. Can you elaborate on PulseChain staking? Just try it out when the testnet's out. So, you know, your keys will just work. So if you have like a theory, like it's gonna be more obvious when the testnet's out, and you don't have to wait long. Wow, I've been wondering why the market moves together. Now makes perfect sense. Hart's law is a god tier analysis. Nice job. You know, man, I was like, I'm happy to stick my name on this one because it is really a breakthrough in understanding the market. Really matters. It removes this idea that there's some like super duper, you know, hedge fund that just thinks everything's a sympathetic product and therefore like is in charge of everything moving at the same time. Nope. So it's really, really, really cool, and it doesn't just apply to crypto; it applies to everything. So I like it too. That's why I stuck my name on it. Thank you for the kind words. How much do I spend on my underwear? I just wear Armani briefs. I don't know what they cost, like $50 each or something, I guess, maybe. I mean, you probably get them for 25. Get a deal, probably. Maybe average is like 35 or something. What will happen to all ERC20 tokens copied and ETH if we do not sacrifice at all? You sacrificing or not has nothing to do with that. They're unrelated. I'm 26 minutes behind now. Will there be some very big risk-free arbitrage opportunities on the launch? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's a good thought experiment to run in your head, like where the opportunity might be. How does HEX always pump even during a bear market? It's just that good, man. It's the best. I absolutely love HEX. It's a miracle. It's that easy. Like that's the answer. There's no magic, or it's all magic, however you want to look at it. Should I sacrifice ETH while tie? I mean, this is the same as asking me, is ETH price going to go up or down right now? You know, I think not financial advice, but if I were to be sacrificing, I think now would be a fine time because the rate is going up 5% tomorrow, and 5% the next day, and 5% the next day, and 5% the next day. And so that is working against whatever type of USD appreciation is occurring. Is Asia onboarding HEX? I don't even think we're big in Asia at all. At all. I don't think anybody in Asia knows about HEX at all. Like, really, I don't. Our HEX China chat room has like one guy in it. It's just a joke. Like, this is opportunity, by the way. Like, lucky us, because when they do FOMO, boy, do they like to FOMO hard, you know? Like, when Korea starts buying it up, it's a beautiful thing. But right now, I don't think there's any Asian adoption at all. And I mean, look, I see the stats on the site, and there ain't no little bubbles in Asia. English-speaking countries primarily. The vast majority of the users are English-speaking. Richard, are you single? Kind of. I mean, I like girls. So. Richard, love Pulse. So far, do you think atomic composability is something Pulse will try to crack in the future? Upgrades? Well, all L1s have atomic composability already. It's only an issue in L2s, and I don't care about L2s right now. I care about L1. L2s in general just have no adoption at all. It's a joke. So it was a great idea. They're still trying it, but there's no adoption whatsoever. It's pitiful. And they've been around for a while. Like, we were the world's first airdrop. HEX did the world's first airdrop on ZK Sync. Or I should say Hexagons, but Hexagons did the first airdrop on ZK Sync. And ZK Sync didn't take off. So that's their bad. Why are you so confident? I don't know, man. Like, the society that I live in has always made me feel that way. Like, that made me feel good about myself. Richard, you're one of the only developers that speaks about the price and how it's good in it for the tech. Thanks. Since a lot of coins have, man, I wish the screen would get brighter. Thank you. I need to turn off this ABL auto brightness limiting. I hate it, but I hacked the firmware to do it. It's not an option they want you to use. Hey Richard, Big Hexagon here. Love your work. Just a question regarding this context. What happens if a decent working copy of HEX starts competing with HEX? Would that create speculation again? What? Hey guys, pro tip. People have already tried to copy HEX numerous times. They've all been devastated and doomed and ruined. I know 3 off the top of my head. Wrecked. Ultra wrecked. So basically, like, every time one of these copycats tries to be HEX, it just ends up advertising for HEX. And then those people lose their money, and then the smart people end up in HEX, is what I've seen. Will there be a separate website for EHEX and PHEX after the fork? I don't think so. Did I develop HEX myself? No. I mean, I came up with how it should be, but I didn't write the code. I can't write Solidity code. I can check it, I can audit it, I can find business logic flaws, and, you know, I'm still useful, but I cannot actually write the code, because I don't have all the syntaxes memorized, and, you know, oh, we're going to use a struct, and now we need to, like, initialize it, and you're like, all right, so it's not easy. It's hard. So I know a lot, but I'm not a developer. Like, I know what reentrancy attacks are. I know what, I mean, basically, if I took a month off and just learned the syntax that they want you to use, then I could be a developer. But it's better that I hire a bunch of them than do it myself. And believe me, the good ones, I wouldn't be able to catch it. Like, the guys I'm working with, I will never be able to be as good as they are. Like, they're very good. Have you looked at some vintage LV to add to your stack? I don't know. Vintage stuff usually looks like old, man. So I'm not really that into it. Something's clicking. Never heard a click out of this thing in my life. Maybe after the stream, I'm going to have to figure out why. Both stakes in the stake wrap will be able to unstake PHEX on the Pulse chain. They said that they're going to support it, so that was their public statement. I think I'm almost caught up because I'm scrolling, baby. I'm scanning and scrolling really quick. Will the programmers continue to work on Pulse after launch? And who will pay them in the future? Let me give you guys a little reminder here. I don't work for you. Hi. I don't work for you. I don't do anything for you. I don't owe you anything. Nothing. Neither does anyone that I know. In anything that I'm involved with, you must have no expectation of profit from the work of others. This is not a security. You're not buying my time. You're not, none of it. Nothing. None of that. If you want HEX to be better, go make it better. If you want Pulse to be better, go make it better. If you want the code to be better, go make it better. It's on GitHub, GitLab, gitlab.com/PulseChain.com. You ain't going to get no expectations of profit from the work of others from me. Never. Never, ever, 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 ever. Now, by the way, how's that worked out? Seems to have worked out just fine. So, no singing stories and like, you know. I tell you what, if you wanted to make a lot of money in the world, telling big stories is something that I see all the time. People tell you a big story to get your money, and they never do anything they said they were going to do. It's called a scam. I don't like this. So, no expectations here. It's also a little bit silly question. In general, if you want to assume or try and predict what people are going to do, in general, people tend to kind of do what's in their own best interest usually. And so if you figure out what's in someone's best interest or what they think is in their best interest, you kind of can try and guess what they're going to do, you know? It's like, when is Elon Musk going to burn down his factory? He's probably not going to burn down his factory because that would cost him money. When is Elon Musk going to bash his own head in with a hammer? He's probably not going to do that because it seems like it would hurt. Like, you know, when is someone going to do something harmful? Like, you just... No, like, people in general just do what is the best for them. So, can you confirm an interview with Kitco News next week? Sure. But you gotta remind me, man. Like, message me, please. Because I think he was gonna email me or something, and I don't check my email that often. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Hey, Richard, why is HEX stuck at 201 on CoinMarketCap? Probably because CoinMarketCap has actually stuck quite a few coins on the third page that don't belong there, oddly enough. It's not just us. There's other coins on the third page that don't belong there. So they might want to do their job better, I guess. Do you see HEX being adopted by any big exchanges like Binance? Don't know. I mean, I don't like Binance. I think they take people's money and don't give it back. I know people that have money on Binance that can't get their money out. So, now look, is that most people's experience? No. Probably most people can get their money out. But just having seen it happen with my own eyes, it leaves a real bad taste in my mouth. Now look, that might be the case with all the exchanges, and I just haven't seen it with my own eyes, and maybe I should just not like any of them. But I saw this one, and so it makes me angry. By the way, you are the best debater, I think, in crypto at the moment. Or ever. Come on, man. Come on now. I hope you have more debates with big names in crypto like Michael Saylor. Hey, when he wants to learn from someone that knows more about crypto than him, I'm right here. And I do appreciate what he's done, getting billions of dollars into cryptocurrency. We have all benefited greatly from that, so we all should thank Michael for that. So give respect where it's due. Will PulseChain be audited like HEX? Nope. HEX code was much smaller code base. There's a reason that you've never seen an audited blockchain. It's not a thing. I've never seen a blockchain get audited in my life. So the good news is that, you know, Ethereum has had a bug bounty program for a long time, and the code has been used for so long that a lot of the bugs have been worked out, and we get to start with something that's battle tested and, in my opinion, already more secure than Bitcoin. Ethereum's never had an inflation bug. Bitcoin's had 2. So what do you think about the Rolex Day Date Everose Gold with a chocolate dial? I don't like chocolate dials. I mean, maybe because I wear so much Louis stuff, I should. I'll try one on, I guess. But they don't look good just on their own to me. Did I miss anything? I guess I missed something because I'm going to scroll up here. Does a sacrifice wallet get a copy of the ERC20 tokens? I looked at the sacrifice wallet, and it seems like it dumps every ERC20 it gets for stable, except for HEX. So, who knows? I mean, if it stops doing that, then and then it held through to the mainnet fork, then I guess it would get copies. But I mean, I guess the stables are ERC20s too. So, I mean, look, it's very simple. Like, that address is just another address, so there's nothing special or unique about it in regards to the fork. Oh, and the 5% going up every day is compounded? Yeah, so it's going to end up at 1.98x on the last day. Somebody asked, how am I? I'm doing good, thanks, man. From Singapore here, I got HEX and stake HEX, and I love it. Congrats, man. I like Singapore. I am from Asia. I have HEX. All right, there's some Asian people that have HEX. Congratulations, boys. Go and create millions more, please. You are numerous. We need more Asian hexagons. What's the biggest Spanish-speaking country on HEX? I'm not sure. I have to check the stats. Rich needs to have kids to pass on the genius genes. Thanks, man. I think there are a lot of Indians in HEX, aren't there? I don't think there are. The HEX India chat room's like empty. I don't think there's many Indians in HEX. Nice pull today, and the pattern shirt last stream was also really nice and works well on camera. Thanks, man. Confidence comes from knowing what you're talking about. Maybe, but not really, because there's a lot of very smart, knowledgeable, unconfident people. It sure does help, though. And I think there's a lot of really unintelligent, confident people, so not sure about your statement. Might not be right. Will it be a separate website for EHEX PX? Nah, it should be the same. Richard, much respect in the interview with Corey, the hedge fund dummy. You treated him way better than he deserved. I don't know, man. I thought that was like a train wreck. Because I'm trying to be nice now, and I was not very nice to him. People tell me my best quote from that was, I'm live streaming from a castle, and you're calling in from a Toyota. That's pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yeah. I hope he finds a way to short HEX. I really want him to have that experience. Somebody asked if PulseChain's on Uniswap. No, it doesn't exist yet. If you buy anything called Pulse or PulseChain, you're probably getting scammed. It doesn't exist yet. Yeah, I answered some of these. When Mainnet goes live, would it be right in thinking that this will be a second chance in getting on the ground floor with PHEX staking for T-shares? System state's the same, share price is the same, everything's the same. The share price in HEX terms. So like, I don't know, you know, I don't know. Do I meditate? No. Richard, can you explain how HEX has such impeccable uptime? Is it just superior operations, or do you have a secret? Not gonna tell you. So guys, go to pulsechain.com. Go there. There's a timer on there. Time is running out. Every day, the rate ticks up 5%. And to change where you rank in the rankings, there's only a few more days left to do that, because the last 3 days don't count. So that ranking is over with the day before the last 3 days. Like the end of that day, right? Like, what else? Follow me on Twitter, like this video, subscribe, click the bell, twitter.com/RichardHeartWin, youtube.com/RichardHeart, free books, t.me/sci-vive, world's largest airdrop, pulsechain.com. If you want to sacrifice for free speech, Pulse.info. If you want to maybe save lives, maybe get a tax write-off, donate to sens.org, and you get 3/4 of the credit in points for the Pulse sacrifice phase, and free books, free coins, donate to charity. Let's go check the numbers real quick before we head off. ETH USD 2190, BTC USD 34.5, and HEX 14.5 cents. 431 million sacrificed on HEX. Now here's something interesting, by the way, guys. I see all the other ERC20s except the stables getting dumped in this by this address, but the HEX isn't. It's interesting. Very interesting. No expectation of profit from the work of others. Remember that. What else? How much money's here? 431 M in HEX, 120 M in USDC, 27 M in DAI, and 20 M in Tether. So it's like 167 point. It's like 167.5 or something. This doesn't include the sacrifices from all the other chains, and I think there's like 10 or 12 M on the BTC one, and who knows how much on a lot of these other chains. Usually like 500K, but who knows, right? Like 500K to 2M is what I've seen. Is that it? Did I cover it all? Twitter.com, RichardHeartWin, PulseChain, Hex.com, 386,000% return before staking in a 1.5 years. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think it's been a good stream. I'll just look at the questions one last time. Thanks, we appreciate you. You saved my family's lives. Where can we find the interview with the hedge fund guy? I think Cabana Crypto has it on his YouTube channel. He's a good Hexagon. Crypto Cabana. Nice. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, man. I really appreciate you guys. You're wonderful. You know, I brag about having raised 25 million for charity, but let's be serious. The people that actually donated the money to charity, they deserve more credit than I do. So thank you so much to the guy that sent 10 million in stablecoin right from Coinbase into the Sense Foundation. I really appreciate that, man. That's really awesome of you. Thank you. And all you guys that have been supporting the charity that, you know, could save our lives, I really appreciate it. So I'm going to keep bragging about how much I raised, but just remember that when I do that, I know who the real heroes are. It's you guys that are actually, you know, writing the checks. So it's been a pleasure, guys. I'll talk to you soon. I'm heading to the chat room. t.me/PulseChain.com. Heading off. Bye, guys.